Situated in the northwest of Abeokuta is a little village inhabited by 200 people, victims of circumstances, isolated from relatives and friends to live in what is known as Abeokuta leprosy settlement. Some years ago, it was a place of sorrow, where life had its joy only in the hope that death will come one day to put an end to misery and woe. But now, it is a village where sympathy is lost in admiration and nature smiles at the courage of man. To a visitor, the people express themselves in a message like this: "Welcome, kind visitor, to our little village of hope. Here we are, victims of mishap, born to live with no room in yonder place, but with your prayers and goodwill, we shall live on this cheerless hill a life of service to mankind." In 1928, 60 people, despondent victims of leprosy, found their shelter around this small house with the rock cleft in for them. Here some of them lived and died without a brother's care or a sister's tear, and for some 14 years the rest continued to suffer grief and pain. A new era dawned in 1962 when a welfare officer was appointed for the village by the British Leprosy Relief Association, known as Lepera, to help the people find joy in their fate and cheerfulness in their solitude. The village has become a little city set on high to proclaim the good work of Lepera and other benevolent voluntary organizations and individuals who like to rescue the perishing and care for the dying. From England and America, men and women of goodwill have spent their money to create a new life here. No more wretched, stinking houses. No more thought of death, but desire to live a useful life. Equally praiseworthy are the generous contributions of the Nigerian Leprosy Relief Association, which has been providing money since 1962 for building more houses for the people. Officers of the association pay regular visits to the village and work in close cooperation with the welfare officer. Many local firms have also helped in providing building materials. These financial and moral supports have brought hope to the people, and here and there one sees evidence of their courageous attitude towards life. Their activities, symbolic perhaps of their desire to be useful citizens, tend to suggest that leprosy has lost its stigma here. To the people, shoes and boots mean much, and but a shoe company donate at least 300 pairs monthly for distribution from here to other settlements in Nigeria. Yes, they have been born to live a useful life in a village cleaner than many streets in big towns. From time to time, the General Secretary of Lepera visits them. It is inspiring to see him go round and meet the people with brotherly affections. He makes them feel that somewhere in the world there are men and women who pray and work for their betterment. He moves freely with them and goes away certainly with good impressions of a grateful, industrious people, apparently determined to triumph over the harsh force of nature and make the best use of every help given through the welfare officer, who is to them a loving father, full of sympathy and patience. The story of their activities and life begins here with planning, direction and supervision by this patient, one-time field secretary to a political party in the Cameroons. Principally, they are farmers. They have planted about 10,000 pineapples and 250 citrus trees. There is a big corn yam yielding many good ears of maize. They also have a big cocoyam farm. Though it is impossible for many of them to thread a needle or scratch a match, though they cannot drive a car or row a boat, they can justifiably claim to be good farmers, growing groundnuts, guinea corn, vegetables, lettuce and cabbages, pepper and tomatoes, yams and cassava, beans and potatoes, plantains and bananas. Yes, sweet bananas. They have about 700 banana trees flourishing wonderfully on the hillside. Every week they have some bunches to sell. In fact, many people like their products, but not the hands that produce them. It is work, hard work, for all in the village. Here, men and women, different tribes from different towns, work cheerfully together as members of one family. No one is happy to be idle. To them all is the hope, the joy, and the pride of a good harvest. Let us have a look at their beautiful farm products. The settlement has 60 acres of arable land, but it needs money to go on a large-scale farming. There are also amongst them experienced carpenters who make artificial limbs for the amputees, build houses and do other woodwork. Stools, chairs, tables and benches that can be seen in the village are made by them. Their farmers do not have to go out of the village to buy their cutlasses and hoes. They have their own blacksmiths who make their tools to specification, and perhaps better than any they can get from able-bodied blacksmiths in the town. Thorough knowledge of their problems and good relationship engender mutual confidence and produce satisfactory results. Yes, no one is happy to be idle. Old or young, everybody finds something to do. Those who still have fairly good fingers like this man engage in making baskets or any job that requires a proper gripping and manipulation like plastering, painting and sewing. Every activity of the people shows their sense of group unity and honor. Perhaps there can be no better school than this place for man to learn the art of changing weakness into strength, to prove that man is the master of his fate, capable of making a heaven of his hell. Here are the artists at work. In defense of his disability, each patient tries to develop his talent and create something of beauty and joy. Not many carvers show better devotion and better sense of mission than these people with crabbed fingers. Here is a challenge, a great lesson to those who cannot take life's blows and knocks to fan the flames of their desires. Farmers, tradesmen, artists and masons all are here, trying to prove that no man is useless. To those who use herbs and roots for medicine, we find a well-equipped supply store here in this village of hope. It is kept by a woman patient whom leprosy has failed to subdue into grief or lamentation, for she is always happy. Certainly, the people are grateful to Lipera, American Catholic Relief Organization, Mission to Lepers, World Health Organization, Freedom from Hunger, Christian and Voluntary Organization, War or Want, Nigerian Leprosy Relief Association, Bata Shoe Company and other organizations, Egba Divisional Council, firms and individuals who have helped build up the village for them. Above all, they are grateful to the United Nations International Children Emergency Fund for curative medicine. Every week, as on this occasion, they line up to take their tablets with water. There is also a 20-bed hospital for the very sick ones. The nurses were trained at the Osiomo leprosy settlement, where they themselves had been patients. The government of Western Nigeria paid their salaries. One surprising thing about the people is their high sense of hygiene and sanitation. They always keep their village clean. They do not allow bed bugs or flies to breed. They wash their clothes regularly. They work hard and keep clean. They have been taught to believe that cleanliness is next to godliness, and they practice it in everything: abating nuisance, burning the refuse, and taking regular bath, all as a matter of routine. They have their recreation period and amuse themselves with all sorts of funs. Some may go around the village singing and dancing with a masquerade. Others may play games from room to room or take a stroll down the hill. But they all recreate well. Though isolated from the community, they do not in fact live a secluded life. They hear news about men and matters from all parts of the world. In their leisure hours, some play with their innocent children, giving them those fatherly smiles and caresses that promote filial love. Some read newspapers and some write memoirs. Some of them are Muslims and many are Christians. In 1965, the Agura and the Olubara, two sectional obas in Abeokuta, performed the opening ceremony of a mosque built by the village authority for the Muslims. It was a day of greater hope for a better life after death. The Agura prayed that God might hear all their prayers in the mosque. The Baptist Church Ijaye conducts divine services here every Sunday for the Christians. They come morning and evening to thank God for His unfailing mercies and to beseech Him for acceptance when the corruptible body should have taken on incorruption. For the past 10 years, this religious aspect of the village life has been a light, spreading bright rays of hope into every hut. Everybody likes Saturday night. Even here, life swings high on Saturdays. They have their own orchestra. We can listen to their music and perhaps shake the waist. Like their parents, the children look happy. They eat and play well. But they present some complicated and perplexing problems. Should they be kept always in the same room with their parents? Are they to grow up here without training? Though free from infection, will they find a kinder and more accommodating community into which they can be rehabilitated now or at any other time? What future have they? Perhaps to round up their children's appeal, the people sing of their plight. It is not our fault to be what we are. Please, do not blame us. We have no armor against fate. Certainly, they deserve not blame, but sympathy and help.